Are you interested in the study of ancient Greek religion? Well, this is the vlog for you. Today I'm going to quickly run through a couple of books that I think are a really good starting place for anybody thinking about getting into the study of ancient Greek religion more generally. So this vlog is particularly aimed at undergraduates or master's students who are thinking about writing their dissertations on a topic of ancient Greek religion, or PhD students or master's students who are writing about something else but are bumping into religion and want to just get a bit of an overview, a bit of a general look at what's happening in the study of ancient Greek religion at the moment. There's lots of exciting things happening. Some of these books come from different perspectives, particularly in terms of how far they go along with Sourvinou-Inwood's influential Polis religion theory. I won't be discussing that theory, but I will post the references to the two articles of Sourvinou-Inwood's that discuss that theory below. I'll also be posting a link below to Tom Harrison's review article from the 2015 Journal of Hellenic Studies, which goes a bit more in depth at reviewing several books that look at what's happening in the study of ancient Greek religion at the moment, including two of the books that I'm going to mention today. So the first book that I'm going to mention is not specifically about Greek religion, but it is Religion, Antiquity and Its Legacy, written by Yorgorupki. These are really great, short, simple books. They're on a whole pile of different subjects. I think I've got gender and death and some other ones. They're really interesting books, and they look at, this one hasn't actually, the spine's not been cracked on this one yet because I read the library copy and then I decided to buy one. So this looks at a whole pile of different things happening in the study of ancient religion more widely, and then also in how that's sort of being translated into modern life in terms of that's the legacy part of the title, right? So I think the most interesting parts of this book are the first 4 chapters, which are the ones that you get on the front page of the contents page. And they really deal with some of the negative Christianizations of the study of Greek religion. For a long time, and you still find in older books, religion is defined by, ancient Greek religion is defined by what it isn't, which is Judeo-Christian religion. And we're starting really to move away from that idea, and that's starting to come through in the scholarship. And that actually is a really perfect way to move on to my second recommendation, which I think probably should be the go-to book for anybody who is interested, even tangentially interested, in the study of ancient Greek religion. And that is Robert Parker's 2011 On Greek Religion. This is a really accessibly written book. It's really well referenced. Obviously, it's Robert Parker. It's really well referenced, it's really well researched, and it's beautifully written. And it deals with a lot of the current trends. Robert Parker does tend towards Sourvinou-Inwood's Polis religion theory. That's not an issue. I certainly fall down on one side of that debate. I'm not going to go into that in this vlog. That will be the topic for another video. But what Parker really tries to do in this book, I think, is give a general overview of what's going on. And so he talks about ritual and the place of ritual in society. He talks about the gods and the pantheon and the way that people articulate their relationship with the gods. And it's all, it's not a very long book. It's 292 pages to the end of the appendices, and it's very well referenced and very well written. So that, I think, is a great place to begin. Another really good, wonderful book is Julia Kint's 2012, yes, Rethinking Greek Religion. And this is where you start getting into much more methodologically focused work. But Kent really addresses the methodology in a really accessible way. So it's not heavy and dense, and even the dense theory in the beginning. I think the most valuable chapter is the first chapter, which might even be the introduction. It is the introduction. And so what she does is introduces all the theory, what's going on at the moment, some critique of Sourvinou-Inwood's Polis religion theory, and then through a number of case studies applies different parts of the theory, of more theoretical approaches to Greek religion. So it's worth reading the case studies even if they are not specifically related to what you are doing. So for instance, Chapter 4, Rethinking Boundaries, the place of magic in the religious culture of ancient Greece. If you're not studying magic, it's still worth reading that chapter. In it, she addresses the boundarification of various sort of marginalized practices that come under the banner of magic, and discusses how that we can negotiate those boundaries. So that discussion can really be put into and onto studies of other boundarified religious practices. So the next book that I'm going to suggest is a little bit older. It is 1983, very old in fact. But this I really like. It's Erica Simon's Festivals of Attica, an archaeological commentary. And I like this if for no other reason than it is one of the only accessible studies of Greek religion that looks primarily at archaeological evidence. And I am a big fan of artifact-based inquiry. I think text and artifact go hand in hand, and in the study of ancient religion and in ancient history more widely, they should be used simultaneously. So this, while some of Simon's conclusions are a bit outdated, it is a really good introduction to the use of archaeological material in the study of ancient Greek religion. It is primarily, as the title suggests, about Athens and main cults of Attica, i.e. Eleusis. I think Eleusis is the only non-Athenian thing that she looks at. But yes, so that's a really interesting book. If you are interested in specific gods, then the place to begin is with the Routledge Gods and Heroes of the Ancient World series. I only have one of those books with me today. It's Fritz Graf's book on Apollo. These are short. Some of the more recent ones are much longer. I know Emma Stafford's Heracles edition from this series is quite a bit longer, but they are meant as short introductions. They all follow roughly the same internal structure. So you have an introduction, which is always why God, why Apollo, or why write a book on a god, why write a book on Apollo, and then key themes. And I mean, in Apollo you obviously get Apollo and Homer, musician, oracles, healing, Apollo as the archephebe, origins, and then you always have this wonderful section at the end called God afterwards, Apollo afterwards, and what happens to the god and the use and image of the god after the classical period. And that's fun and interesting. And they're all written in such a beautiful, accessible way. So if you're interested in a particular god and don't know where to begin, see if there is a book from this series. The final book that I want to share with you is a bit more dense, a bit less accessible than the others, but more physically accessible because you can download the PDF of the entire book. I'll put the link below, and it is Henk Versnell's Coping with the Gods, Wayward Readings in Greek Theology. And this is a huge book. It is to the end of the appendices, 559 pages, and it is dense and it covers a lot. The most valuable part of this book, I think, is one of the appendices. It's the Appendix 4, and that is, did the Greeks believe in their gods? And in it, Versnell puts forward this a theory of thin and thick belief, and I find that a really interesting and useful way to get into the question of what is Greek belief, and did Greeks believe, and how do we know they believed, and what evidence can we draw out? More widely, this has a fantastic, huge bibliography, which in and of itself is interesting to read through. And it just is typical Versnell, dense and heavy and interesting, and there are huge footnotes, and it's meaty and gets into a lot of stuff, and it talks about a lot of things. Greek experiments in oneness, playing the god. Did the Greeks believe in the divinity of their rulers? So looking at ruler cults and things like that. The question of divine omnipotence, and it really sort of interrogates Greek religion from the perspective of a person, which is sort of something that I really believe is a good thing. So finally, I'm going to leave you with the book that I am reading right now, which is Tim Whitmarsh's Battling the Gods, Atheism in the Ancient World. I am not very far into it. You can see where my bookmark is. I'm only about that far in. So far, it's really interesting. It's not a typical academic book. It is pitched at a wide, broad audience, and so it is written very accessibly. It's not highly referenced. It is not stale. And it's got really good reviews, and so far I'm really enjoying it. So when I finish, I will come back and let you know how I'm getting on with that, but just so you know what I'm reading at the moment. If you have any specific questions about resources for the study of Greek religion, please do feel free to leave comments below. Otherwise, if you would like to get notified of my upcoming academic job interview mini-series, or any of the other videos that I do, click subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!